I discovered online recently that the PS4 allows you to rebuild the database that it uses for its file system. I had seen people recommend rebuilding the database as a sort of defragmentation of the hard drive. Defragmentation being a software routine that you can run that will physically reorganize the contents of a hard drive in order to gain performance. I was curious as to whether rebuilding the database for my PS4, a stock base model, would improve its performance time specifically with regards to loading, especially large open world games. For this test, I used Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which has got some of the most unbearable loading screens I've seen on the base PlayStation 4. So the process for rebuilding the database is that you will have to turn your PlayStation all the way off. You can do that from the same menu that you would put it to rest. You do not put it in rest mode though, you turn it all the way off. You hold down the power button to restart your PlayStation. It will chirp once when it starts to turn on, and then it will chirp a second time when it enters safe mode. From safe mode, you can select Rebuild Database. This is a pretty safe routine. I haven't seen a whole lot of talk online about issues. My experience, and the experiences that I've read about, mostly seem to indicate that it takes a few minutes, maybe as long as 20 minutes or half an hour. In my case, both times that I've run it now, it's taken less than 5 minutes each time. After it finishes, it'll just take you back to the home screen as though you had turned on your PlayStation normally. From there, when I logged in, there were a few software updates, but here's what we're really interested in. I wanted to compare the loading times for Assassin's Creed Odyssey before and after rebuilding the database to determine if rebuilding this database had had any impact on just loading screens. As we can see, there was little to no impact from rebuilding the database. I think it's pretty clear to me that there's very little advantage on a traditional loading screen. I've seen people report that in the newer Call of Duty games, rebuilding your database can help with the texture pop-in. I wasn't able to personally experience this or verify it in the games that I play. It doesn't really seem to have made a difference. It didn't seem to hurt, but it didn't gain any meaningful advantages. Perhaps if you are experiencing tremendously long loading times on a PlayStation 4 or severely bad pop-in, perhaps there will be some advantage to be gained here. I didn't have that experience. I know it's not always the most exciting thing to post videos where there's no real indication, right? We kind of proved the null hypothesis here. There was no change. But I think it's good for documenting, in this case, that there was, in fact, no change. I think that's what's important. So, sorry to be disappointing on this fact, right? The results are pretty underwhelming. But I think it is good to document, in this case, that there really wasn't a whole lot of impact. These kinds of experiments are good for testing what changes do and actually don't matter. If you like this video, there's more down below. There will also be links to my VOD channel and back to my main channel here. This isn't the normal kind of content I post, but I do sporadically run tests, and I want to document my results to share with the broader community so that we can kind of bust some of these myths that we have. I think there's a lot of hardware superstition. Games tend to be so complex that it can be hard to tell sometimes what does and doesn't actually matter, right? So if this helps us chase some ghosts out of the machine, then I think that's well worth my time. All right, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.